If you're an attorney, you know the value of a well-written, keyword-rich 5-star Google review. It's the kind of thing that's going to move you up in the search and, more importantly, broaden the area in which Google shows your law firm. Hi, I'm Bob Summers. I'm known as the Google Review Guy. I've done this for 10 years with thousands and thousands of different businesses, helping them dominate their markets and attracting new customers through the Google review process. And what I'm going to show you in this video is the single most effective way to ask for a review so that you not only get 5 stars and lots of reviews, but I'm going to show you how to get the highest percentage of your happy clients writing keyword-rich 5-star Google reviews for your practice because they want to do it. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. It's a quote by Oliver Wendell Holmes, and he once said, "A mind once expanded can no longer go back to its original dimension." And here's what's going to happen. Once you understand this process and you see these 6 steps, you will never be able to go back to what it is you're doing again. So let's take a look at what those 6 steps are, and it's all a part of a bigger picture. You know, our review integrity project has 9 components to it. There's the preparation stage, the presentation stage, and the promotion stage. All we're going to look at in this video is a small section of step 5, and that is on how to make the request. Now, believe me, there is a lot more to this if you want to attract new clients from this process. But let's look at these 6 steps. Are you ready? I want you to make some notes and share this with the people in your office who are going to be asking on your behalf. It'll make all the difference in the world. Step number 1, take their temperature. You have to make sure they are delighted with the quality of work you did. The last thing you need is for someone to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4-star review. We are looking for 5-star reviews. So the question might be, how did everything go? Were you happy with the transaction? Was there anything we could have done any differently that would have made you happier? Whatever you want to ask, I don't care. But you need to make sure they're happy, because if you don't do that, and I'm going to give you a warning with each of these 6 steps, if you don't do that, you're taking the risk that you're going to get a lower star rating, which potentially could move you down, although it's not the most important factor. Step 2, clearly ask for what you want. You're not going to ask people to write a review. You're not going to ask people to go to Google. You're not going to ask for feedback. That's not what you want. What you want is the same thing Google wants. And you know what you want? You want your customer to write a review for you on Google about their experience with you and your practice. So here's how I might word that. Hey, later today, Jim, when you get a chance, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with me and my practice? Would you do that for me, please? Wow, that's clear as a bell. I told you what I want. I want you to write a review on Google. I just don't want a star rating. And by the way, I'm not going to ask you to give me a star rating. That's leading and pushing, and I don't need to because I already know you're happy. I'm going to clearly ask you to write a review on Google. If I don't do that, you'll go to some other site. You might just give a star rating, and then I'm going to tell you what I want you to write about. I want you to write about your experience with me and my firm. Okay, that makes it easy for me as a client to know what to write about. Step 2, clearly ask for what you want. Step 3, if you're working with other review companies, they're probably telling you this is worthless, it's dead. And I'll tell you what it is. You always, and I mean always, want to send a link to your Google review page in an email. Really, Bob? It's 2023. Are you kidding me? Why would we do that? Email is dead. It is not. And I want to tell you why you always want to send a link to your Google page in an email. And I'll give you 3 quick reasons. 1, think about it. When do you open a text message? Well, you probably open a text as soon as you get it. When do you open an email? If you're like me and virtually everybody else, you open email when you have time to read your emails. And guess what else you have time to do when you have time to read your email? You also have time to write a review. So we want to catch people at the best possible opportunity, and if you send text only, you are missing out on that. That's the first reason. Number 2, according to SEO experts, since 2020, the #1 Google ranking factor when it comes to reviews isn't your star rating, isn't the number of reviews you have. It's the quality of the written review. Now, we know, because we have thousands of people that work with this, we know that the best reviews are written when people have access to a keyboard. If you take the keyboard away, you're forcing people to write their review on a phone. Some are good at this, some aren't, but why take the risk? So give people a keyboard, and you can only do that with email. Number 3, people get email on their phone anyway. So what the heck? And they're going to open it when they have time to read it. So step number 3 is always, always, always send that link to your Google page in an email. Step 4, after you get their email, after you know and you have a system where you can send it via email, step 4 is ask them if they would like for you to send them that link in a text message too. Oh my gosh, of course we're going to try text, but there's so many valuable things that happen when we send it by email and text. You already know the value with email. When you send it by text, there's some other cool things that happen. Now, I am not a fan of sending reminders. I think it's pushy. I think it's needy. It doesn't represent who you are. And I don't care how sweet the reminder is. Hey, Jimmy, I know you're busy, but boy, it would mean a lot to me and all of us if you'd have to take a minute to write that review. You don't need to do it. Because when you send it by email and text, you send that link in 2 different ways. That's the equivalent of a reminder without it being a reminder. So you're actually giving them 2 chances to write that review, one via email, one via their phone, one on a computer, one on their phone. So that's one of the huge reasons you want to try to send it both ways, but there's more. Now, you may be aware of this already. In order for your client to write a review for you on Google, they have to have their own Google account. If they don't have it, they cannot write a review. And that is why I would encourage you to use a system that allows your customers, your clients, to write reviews on more than one site. Because if they can't go to Google and they don't know their password, and I'll tell you something, they're not going to change their password or create an account just because you ask them to write a review. It isn't going to happen. So what happens is that when you send this link in an email and a text, you double your chances of them being logged into their Google account when they click on that link. Here's what I know. 60 to 65% of your clients are logged into their Google account already when they click on that link in their phone. They don't have to worry about knowing what their password is. I don't know about you. I don't know my Google password, and half of us don't. Now, if I click on the link on my phone and I'm not logged in and I don't know what it is, you're stuck unless you have other choices. However, if I send that link in an email too, now you go to your computer and try it, you may very well be logged in on your computer where you're not on your phone. Now, I do this every single day. And I can tell you, there are times when people are logged in on their phone, but not their computer. There's times they're logged in on their computer, but not their phone. There's times they're not logged into either, and there's times where they're logged into both. So step number 4 is always ask if they would like it sent by text too. That is a big deal. Now, I'm going to go to step number 5. This is by far, and if you're making notes, I want you to underline and circle this because nothing will have a bigger impact on the number of Google reviews you get than what I'm going to tell you right now. That's step 5. Step 5 is you have to send that email and text while they are standing in front of you. Now, if you're not standing in front of your client when you ask them to write a review, you have to do it while you are on the phone with them. You cannot hang up the phone and then send it. Hey, I'll send it to you as soon as we hang up. No, if you do that, you'll get 1/4 the results. If you want to get a phenomenal number of reviews, you're always going to send that email or text with the link in it while they are literally watching you do it. Now, I don't know the whole psychology behind this, but what I think is happening is they know that you know they sent it. And by the way, if you send it by text and their phone goes ping while they're standing in front of you, they know that you know they got it. So you always want to send it while they are standing in front of you. If you're on the phone and you're asking on the phone, you're going to send it while you're on the phone, long before you hang up. That is the single most important thing. And if you're not happy with the number of Google reviews you're getting now, that could be the reason why. Step number 6. Remember I told you earlier, the single most important ranking factor is the quality of the written review. You don't want no stinking 5-star review with no comments, and you don't want something that's 1 or 2 sentences long that's meaningless. Google is now, and they hadn't been doing this for years and years, but they are filtering a lot more reviews. If you've seen some of your reviews disappearing, there's a reason for it. Google doesn't think that review is trustworthy, helpful, or relevant. So how do we get trustworthy, helpful, and relevant reviews? Well, here's how we do it. And this is the best and most effective technique I have ever heard. Let me tell you the second best first. The second best is, hey, Jimmy, when you write a review on Google about your time with us, it helps other people under the same circumstances learn about the kind of service we provide. And that would mean a lot to me. So what? Jimmy's not interested in helping other people out. You might think he is. He's not. But if you say this, you'll get amazing results. Hey, Jimmy, thank you so much. And you're going to say this right after you send it. Remember, you're on the phone or standing with Jimmy. Jimmy, thank you so much. You know, I read our Google reviews to our whole staff every time they come in, and I got to tell you, it makes all of our day. I cannot wait to read your review to the whole staff. Thank you so much. Now, if you don't do that, they are not going to write a high quality review, because when people know that review is going to be read out loud, they will take the extra step to write something of consequence. All right. Quick synopsis. What are the 6 steps? 1, take their temperature. If you don't do it, you could get a bad review. 2, clearly ask them for what you want. And what you want is for them to write a review on Google about their experience with you and your firm. If you don't do that, you'll get people going to Facebook, LinkedIn. They'll write brief little things. They'll give you a star rating. You have to clearly ask for what you want. Number 3, always, and I mean always, send that link to Google, to your review page, in an email for all the reasons I gave you. If you don't do that, you'll probably get a third to half less the number of reviews you would if you just did text only. By the way, text only is the worst way to get well-written Google reviews, just so you know. Step 4 is always ask them if they'd like it sent by text too. If you don't do that, what you're doing is you're counting on them being logged in on their computer. If they're not, maybe they're logged in on their phone. You're cutting your ability of them being logged in half. Also, you don't have the opportunity of sending a reminder without it being a reminder. So always ask if you'd like it sent by text too. Step 5, you have to, the single most important thing, send that link while they are standing in front of you. If you do not do that, you will get 1/4 the results. Nothing is more important than sending it while they see you do it. Step 6, tell them what you're going to do with that review. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the review out loud. I'm not reading the review, I'm reading it out loud to our entire staff. And why am I doing that? Because it makes everybody's day. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, and do that. Now, I have one extra tip for you. When people write reviews for you, they only want one thing in return. That's it, one thing. You don't need to pay them. That's against the law, by the way. All they want is a high level of appreciation. So let me tell you what we do, and you might want to do the same. When people write reviews for us, what I do is the next day, I'll tell them, James, thank you so much. The owner read your Google review aloud to the whole office this morning, and it was just absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate you mentioning me in there too. It just made me feel special. Thank you so much. That's it. It's a phone call. And if they don't pick up the phone, leave the message on their answering machine. If you want to text it, text it. But the more personal you can make it, the better. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you can benefit from this. But if you would like to learn a lot more about what we call the Review Integrity Project, where we can literally walk you through these steps. It's not just about asking. Asking is one little piece. It's making the request. It's a part of the presentation stage. But if you don't understand the preparation stage, analyzing, strategizing, systemizing what you're going to do, you're just shooting in the dark. If you have other people that are asking for reviews on your behalf, you have to know how to energize them. They have to want to do it, because you can tell them how to ask all day long, but if they don't understand the core reason why you're asking, and by the way, it shouldn't be to get Google reviews. That is a horrible reason to ask someone to get Google reviews. You've got to understand why you're doing it. Quite frankly, you're doing it to attract new customers, but your employees don't really care about that either. What's in it for them? What's in it for your customer? They need to know. Then you're going to ask step 5 and send the request, step 6. And you have to know what to say in that email and in that text so it gets through, it gets read, and people know what to do easily and quickly. And we've tweaked this out over literally 10 years to make sure all of our emails and texts get through, and the vast majority of your clients are going to respond. And then, of course, the promotion stage. How do you nurture people that didn't write a review after 3 or 4 days? You're certainly not going to ask them to write a review again. There are way better things you can do to get them to write reviews without asking them. You're going to then go ahead and magnify it. So what do you do with these reviews? Once you get them, are they just sitting there on Google? Boy, that would be silly. There are so many ways you can use these reviews, and Google allows you to do it to further promote your practice. And then one of the things we do is we have a challenge with our customers. We have a 30-day challenge. Now, depending on how many clients you see, this might be a silly thing to do. But over those 30 days, we work with our customers every single week. We look what they're doing. We track exactly what's happening. We can tell, are they asking people to go to Google clearly? Are they sending it when they're there? Are they telling people what they're going to do with the review? It is so easy to see that and to help people create these habits, these really strong habits. So at the end of those 30 days, your crew, your people, they're literally paid salespeople for you. They know how to sell and market your business way beyond just doing what they're doing or asking for Google reviews. Hey, if you'd like to learn a lot more about what we do and maybe participate with us, give us a call. We're here in Hawaii. Our number is 808-891-0449, or schedule a time with us, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Tell us what you're doing, where you're struggling. We're happy to give you guidance as to what you can do to improve what it is you're doing. We can help you understand, are you breaking any of Google's terms of service? Are you breaking the law? Are you doing things that's causing Google to filter your reviews? What are the things you can do to move up in the search and broaden your area? What are the things you can do to get your clients telling their friends because they want to how awesome you are? We can help you with all of that. We've helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. With that, I wish you the best, and I hope you've absolutely benefited from the 6 steps on how to ask for a review. Thank you.